hold on to these words of the Chinese sage Lao Tzu, also known as Laozi. When I let go of what I am, I can become what I might be. To which thought I add this: stuttering is nothingness. You are something. You are one of us, and you will overcome it if you finish.
Thank you, Lee. That was a very good speech. So I have a question here in terms of fear, because fear is an emotion that sometimes we feel that it happens to us. So do you feel that the way of combating fear is through behavioral change? So we first have a good experience, a positive experience, and positive experience, and after a while, the amount of fear we feel is less with time? Or is it something that we can do without any kind of behavior change, just by thinking in a positive way and repeating our our affirmations and self-talk, like I love to speak, I love to speak? Is that enough, or does that have to be joined with some sort of behavior change?
The answer is all of the above.
Okay.
Any and all of the above. Every case is unique. Your answer may change over time as well, because the stutter habit, it's tricky. It adapts to change. If you use the same crutch all the time, it
Yeah.
can adapt and give you and not be quite as effective. If you move around among two or three crutches, that's often plenty.
Of course, as always, Lee, you sounded fantastic. Um, my question, I guess, is if you were to simplify the 10 years it took you to get over the fear, just the fear of speaking, fear of stuttering, into some kind of a short course or some kind of a simplified version of that process, what would that look like?
Realizing its nothingness and accepting it. And however you can accomplish that, some people can accomplish it through declarations, through affirmations that they're saying 20 times twice a day and saying throughout the day. So to realize the nothingness of stuttering, stuttering is nothing. There is no organic, genetic, or chronic reason to stutter, period. There's no medical reason to stutter other than fear. So when you realize and accept that, if you can do it, as you've done it a long time ago, your speech will be free. Now, if you can't realize and accept it, as most people here cannot, at least not just like that, how do they get to the point that they can realize and accept its nothingness? They allow no bad incidents, and they hear fluency from their lips ad nauseum, indefinitely, all the time.
Lee, great talk as always. What occurred to me is you sort of very quickly give the full game plan, basically. So you talk about the fear and that ultimately this problem is, in a sense, nothing. But you also spend time explaining what you were doing to overcome the problem. So it's not just sort of thinking your way out of it, but it's actually going in and doing the hard work to get over the problem. I heard some of the talk at the front end. You were talking to a few individuals here about sort of doing the work and reading out loud, et cetera. And over the years, I've had conversations in chat and on here with other people who ask me questions. I basically say, look, for myself, just for me, I almost had to stop looking for a way out and just throw my hands in the air and say, I give up. I'm going to have to do the hard work. There's no shortcut way to do this. I just have to do basically what you're saying, read out loud, affirmations, all the rest. So what I particularly was sitting here listening to you and sort of thinking about, both the talk sounds good, the way you communicate, the timing, everything is spot on. But within what you said was really interesting because it's almost like you encapsulate the full program and the full approach in talking for, that tiny block of time captures the solution. So in case there's anybody here who, like me, is a pretty lazy person at heart and is trying to always find a shorter way, the only thing that worked for me was to kind of just say, look, there's no shortcut for me, at least, so I'm going to have to put the time in, and that's what I'll do. And I stopped trying to find a way out and started doing the hard work. And so at the end of your talk, actually, when you were providing sort of one word solutions or one word ways forward, I was kind of thinking to myself what mine would be, and it was just hard work. I guess that's 2 words. But so love the talk, loved what was inside of it. And I resonated with the idea that not only were you talking about fear and that this problem ultimately is nothing in a sense, but you also talked a lot about the work you put in and the techniques you were using that I kind of agree that over time, those are things for me at least that kill the fear off. Fear doesn't exist when you know you've got the techniques in your pocket anytime you need them.
Excellent, excellent thoughts, Joe. It's always a pleasure to see you. For those of you who don't know you, Joe is a psychologist, a PhD in psychology, and he used to stutter. And as you can see, he doesn't anymore.
Fantastic talk. I mean, even though it's not Sunday, I feel like I was listening to some gospel. And I just want to say thanks to you for 15 straight years. I never knew exactly why I stuttered. Like when I was alone, I was 99.9% fluent. But with other people, this is where I'll start playing the mental mind games with myself. And thanks to your program, I have found out that, all stuttering is just fearing your words, overthinking your words, pre-planning your words. However, once we think of our message instead of words, as you said, the stuttering simply disappears. And again, I just want to thank you for everything you've done in my life, as well as countless other people. And to anyone here who currently is a PWS, stick with the program, stick with the 1, 2, 3 punch. This crazy old fool from Bermuda knows more than medical professionals, and I'm using medical professionals in quotations. And again, just stick with it, and your speech and especially your life will change. So again, Lee, thank you for the amazing talk.
Thanks for the comments, Danny. Your thoughts are always very helpful to many people, I'm sure.
Good. This is related to, um, I guess, not thinking words. I just kind of wonder. It seems when I'm talking to fluent people, there are situations where it seems like they are sometimes thinking words.
Having been fluent now for 50 years, though I don't use the word cured because I don't want to be attacked and murdered by somebody from the incurable and acceptance group. So I don't say I'm cured. I haven't stuttered and I love speaking, but I don't use the word cured. Thinking words, I think I would say this. I think my thought process when speaking is virtually identical to what it would have been had I never stuttered. So I think I've been at it so long that I'm a complete, gone the complete circle. And so my belief is that fluent speakers, it's okay to think a word. Now, I say there are 4 things you need to do to stutter. You got to hesitate, think a word, fear it, and force it. If you don't do all 4 of those things, you'll never stutter. The problem is that you and I, when we're stuttering, can do it in a thousandth of a second. We can do all 4 things at the same time. So how do we prevent hesitating, think a word, fear it, and force it? Well, the fluent person who thinks words, he may hesitate and he may think a word, but he never fears it. So because he never fears it, he never forces it. But you and I, as long as we're stuttering, we go those other 2 steps. We fear the word and then force it. So we make a cause célèbre out of not thinking words. I think thoughts and how I can say them. Words represent thoughts to me. That's why we read aloud, Christian. One of the reasons we want to teach ourselves to invest our minds in the message. And to do that, we look at words for their meaning, not as a problem. We don't view the word as a hurdle. We view it as representing a thought. And so we want to express the thought, whatever it is.
a very key component of this program that I really like is the fact that just, you know, if you constantly hear yourself being fluent, it could kind of trigger some kind of self-confidence and kind of make you fluent in every other situation. So it's almost like people that deal with speech anxiety, they kind of live double lives. You know, sometimes they're fluent with certain people, and then with other people, they're not fluent. And that's probably because we kind of, so if we struggle over and over with certain people, the, the, that kind of creates some kind of, you know, reality that we always going to struggle with that person or in that environment. And if we are fluent in, you know, certain situations over and over, then we're constantly going to believe that we're going to be fluent. So, you know, that's something very interesting that this program kind of reminds you of, that if you can just hear yourself being fluent, that's kind of psychologically going to, you know, make you believe that you are fluent. So that's something that I just wanted to point out.
Absolutely correct. Thank you for doing that, Hassan.
Hi, Lee. I don't have a question. I just wanted to say thank you for making this program.
My pleasure, and thank you. I'm so glad you came, and I hope you'll keep coming and stay with it and try to follow. If you can get that mobile app in Pakistan, I think you can. I've helped many people from Pakistan over the years. So get the mobile app and burrow down and get my book and do some reading and have fun with this, because it's a life-changing thing, and it should help you have a much better life. It's not just speech. It's a better life we're looking for here, including speech. So welcome. Thanks for the comment. Keep up the good work, and come as often as you can and help us out.
Sure, Lee, thank you. And if it sounds this well, it is honestly thanks to the program and you, so really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Okay, so it's time to close our meeting. I hope that you enjoyed exchanging thoughts with ex-stutterers and those fast becoming ex-stutterers. I will now end with our motto. Please feel free to say it along with me. If you can say one word, anywhere, anytime, you can say and love to say any word, anywhere, anytime.